in, regardless of what type of adversity we get thrown at us. They just keep fighting. So extremely proud of these guys.
I know you probably haven't had time to sort of digest it, but at this point, sort of the turnaround that the program's had in your second season, what in your mind sort of is to credit for that, if not multiple things?
You know, it's the character of the guys in the clubhouse. You know, guys buying into what they're supposed to do, and you know, everybody that we have a lot of new guys, I think, and that's you know, attribute a lot of transfer portal guys, a lot of young freshmen have coming in, and this is the way we do things, and they're buying into it and understand that if everybody does their part and pulls the same direction, we got a chance to be okay. So you know, credit to them for buying in, because it's, you can preach about it all day long, but unless guys buy in and actually do it, you're swimming upstream. So these guys have bought in, and they can see the results happening, and when you do your job.
Can you take us through, from your perspective, the replay debacle? We got a pretty confusing explanation from the replay guys in the booth. Just from your point of view, what was going on there?
Where do I start? You know, it's an exception to the rule is what I got, the explanation I got. I obviously said the catcher was blocking the plate. We've been cautioned strongly that we can't make contact with the catcher if he's blocking the plate. Don't get me started on that rule. But our guys trying to avoid the catcher and make contact with the catcher. Therefore, that's what I challenged, and they said he was safe. I got called back out and said that they're re-challenging it because there is an exception to the rule that if the infield is in, the catcher is allowed to block the plate. And I said, so what's our base runner supposed to do? Run him over? And they said, well, he can't. Oh yeah, he can't because he'll get ejected and then suspended for 3 games. I said, so we're just supposed to wear it? We're not supposed to be able to make contact or slide? And they're like, well, we could suggest sliding into him, but without malicious intent. And I said, well, that makes a lot of sense. To their credit, Steve Mattingly is a great man. He does not like the rule either. It's one of those things that all those umpires, Ramon didn't like the you know, all those guys. They're like, it's a BS rule, but it is the letter of the law, and so, you know, my hands are tied. I said, so as a catcher, just so my understanding is, when you have infield in, your catcher can sit in front of home plate, apparently. You know, that's
It's basically becomes a force.
yeah, so it makes 0 sense. The contact play at third base becomes obsolete because the catcher can lay in front of home plate, apparently. I don't know. To me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and it's a rule that I need some more clarification on.
And did the umps decide to, like, double jeopardy it, or did Canham come out and ask them to do that?
I'm assuming that was Mitch asking them to re-look at it from that standpoint. And so when Mitch came out, and he must, you know, you could ask him, I don't know what he said to him, but I'm assuming that he told them that the catcher is allowed to block the plate with the infield in. So then they told me they were going to see if he was safe or out on the play. And apparently they came back and said he was out. He didn't touch, Wyatt never touched the plate. Again, I would like to see the replay of that to see if he did or not. But I said, well, he wasn't allowed to touch the plate because the guy was blocking it. So we could go back and forth and still be out there arguing. There's no solution to it. But you know, end of the day, I just the call didn't go our way, obviously, and it's one of those things that, you know, told the guys just keep battling and grinding, and you got to score. You keep scoring, and don't let the umpires, you know, dictate the outcome of this game. Keep grinding and keep putting up runs, and thankfully they did.
Players through many of these press conferences have talked about the pass the torch mentality. Was that been something you instilled in them, or something they came up with as a group?
Just it's a, you know, we talk about hitting in team offense, you know, pretty frequently, and just the importance of doing your job and passing the baton or passing the torch to the next guy. You know, you can't be the guy that hits the 5-run home run. We got to get a guy on base, and then just keep having one good at bat after another and pass the torch, and don't try to be the hero. The hero that'll happen as a result of a good swing and having a good at bat. So when you go up and try and do too much, then it's when we get in trouble. But you just try to do your job, and as you will, pass the torch to the next guy, and we put together pretty good rallies that way.
This was a really intense you guys got a game now in 48 hours again on Tuesday. How do you kind of just, kind of soak in this moment, but also kind of the understanding too that you guys got to go back to work in less than 2 days?
Well, we just talked to these guys that this is arguably the most important stretch that we have, the most games we have in this short amount of time, and they're all important. And our bodies are their bodies are taxed. We got guys that are throwing a lot of pitches and a lot of innings right now that are key guys that really have to take care of themselves and get in the training room and take care of their bodies. But this is an important stretch. This was an extremely important weekend for us against a very good team that we came out on top and obviously took the series. So that's huge for us. But like you said, we got 2 tough games against Fullerton, who's been playing extremely well during the midweek games, especially. That we got to show up, and those games are important for us. So, we'll go through essentially kind of a walkthrough and a very light practice tomorrow just to stay engaged, and then back at it on Tuesday. So we're going to meet as a staff and figure out who's available and who can pitch, and we're going to have some guys step up for sure these next couple days.
McLean's been advertised in more in his 7 games. How much have you thought about how dangerous Campos, McLean, Keishel, 2-3-4, 3-4-5, whatever it becomes is when Campos is healthy?
The guy can dream. I'm hopeful. I can't wait for the day where they're all healthy. And like I said at the beginning of the year, people called me crazy. You called me crazy. We had a good lineup, and we have a great lineup right now. But imagine throwing a healthy Ryan Campos and a healthy Ethan Long in the middle of that lineup. I wasn't crazy. This is a pretty dang good lineup top to bottom if we were all healthy. It's a pretty dang good lineup now to put up 3 straight games of over 10 runs against that pitching staff. That's impressive. And we're without our best hitter. So that to me is an indication of how good these guys can be if we stick to the plan and stay resilient. So just extremely proud of these guys.
Dylan Stevenson originally at the start of the year was more of a midweek guy, then he comes in as the closer, now comes in tonight, gives you a great couple of relief innings. How do you attribute his versatility as a pitcher to be able to serve in these variety roles?
He's one of the guys you talk about that just buys in. I think if you talk to Owen and he had his personal wishes, he would love to be starting. And could he be a starter? Absolutely, in my mind. However, this is where we need him. In the back end of this pen and to finish out games. Experience has told me that when you give up games late, it stings a lot more. So I'd rather have the back end guys that are consistent and really, really lock it down when you have a lead. And he's done an outstanding job at that. And being selfless when it comes to, I don't care. I just want to do whatever it takes for this. And I think he's going to, one day benefit as a whole from this with what he's doing. So hopefully, first things first, what he does for Arizona State, but beyond Arizona State, he's setting himself up very well with how he's throwing the ball. So he's been extremely valuable for us. And today we didn't close him today just because of how that game was going and how much workload we had yesterday. We figured let's let Owen go and see how long he can go, and then if we have to use Piv again today, we will. Even though we knew he wasn't going to be as fresh coming off 5 outs yesterday. So he dug down really deep in that second inning and got us through that with another 0, and that was huge, man. I mean, that was really, really big to leave that guy stranded on third base because the next inning the leadoff guy got on, he got to third base. It's like it's a whole different game right there if he doesn't dig deep and get through that 8th inning. So he's done outstanding.
The stolen bases today and the whole weekend, is that as simple as just a Campos fix, or is it trace the pitching staff as well?
No, I think there's that. They have an aggressive style of base running. They do a really good job of trying to get timing, and they got some guys that can fly. A little bit. Bazana is what a player, man. He's a kid's a grinder and a good player and just a savvy base stealer. A little bit of that, I won't make excuses for Bronson today, but his wing was dragging pretty good today, and then throwing a ball and hitting off the guy's helmet, I think there in the first didn't help matters with his hand. So we knew we were kind of going to be in for it a little bit if they chose to be aggressive, which they were. But, you know, Bronny is, you know, he has a much better arm than that traditionally, but today was going to be a challenge with him just because I knew he was a little sore. But, you know, end of the day, he was a rock behind the plate, and that's what we needed him to do.
On the positive side, Bronson, I think he was on base 7 times this weekend, and didn't look like there was much of a hole in the lineup as some people might have expected.
Well, he was, you know, Bronny's been outstanding. Just, you know, when you take a look at his journey, you know, here, I guess, as a whole, it's a great story. You know, coming in last fall and, you know, arguably winning the job really in the fall with how well he played, but still didn't really get much of an opportunity to play last year. This year, more of the same. You know, and I don't mind saying this, I don't think Bronny would either, but, you know, he's the type of kid that is all mentality. You know, his talent level is not off the charts, but he does whatever it takes for the program. And he's done that this year and waited for his opportunity, and lo and behold, he got it this weekend. And just what a cool weekend for him, just to get back there and really be a rock behind the plate and contribute offensively, and just really, even one of our tougher outs, you know, in that lineup, they were pitching around him and trying to pitch to him and throw him off speed stuff, and he wasn't chasing. So put together phenomenal at-bats all weekend and did a great job behind the plate. Just really happy for him.
Bronson had talked about some of the roster turnover that you hinted to earlier. You know, having guys in that really bought in, you know, it's a collective. Can you talk about sort of this last offseason, having that sort of full schedule to go and find guys and really find the right character guys, as you've talked about?
You know, that's something that we're not done doing. We're going to keep after it, and I think in my mind, that's how we're going to build this thing hopefully right, is build it with the right type of kids, the right character type of kids, that they ain't going to put themselves first. They're going to put the program first, and they put their teammates ahead of them. To me, that's how you have to build this. So you get a bunch of tremendous individual players, you don't win these type of games. You have to have grinders and guys that are willing to do whatever it takes for the guys next to them. And if we continue to bring those type of players in here, we're going to be okay.
With the roller coaster ride that the series was, did you learn anything new about this team, or did you feel like it just reinforced sort of the identity that you really have taken on?
You know, it's each weekend we have known that our schedule is going to continue to get tougher and tougher. You know, we didn't play great this weekend, which is both positive and negative at the same time. The fact that we did not play great, obviously we want to show better than that. We don't want to commit 5 errors and look sloppy and, you know, walk a ton of guys and give up, you know, not hold base runners. That's just not a recipe for winning baseball. However, we took the series against a pretty dang good team. So that's the positive side, is our guys, we can play sloppy and still figure out a way to win. If we can put this all together and start cleaning things up and throwing strikes and making plays behind them with what we're doing, we'll see.
Imagine when you took over this program, this is kind of like a goal for you, right? Is to be a ranked team, ranked program, and defeat another ranked team in your own building. Do you feel like this is like a step in the right direction this weekend? Maybe like a sense of accomplishment with this weekend beating a really good Oregon State team?
Yeah, I think, you know, ultimately, I don't want this to sound arrogant or pompous, but I have higher aspirations than just being ranked. This program's built upon Omaha national championships, and for me, that's the vision. Whether we get there or not, we'll see. You know, but we are going to grind, and that's going to be the expectations. And in order to do that, you have to beat good teams. And so, yeah, this is a step in the right direction. A very, very good Oregon State team that has, I think, won 7 or 8 in a row before getting to us, that's on fire, that, you know, we came down and swung the bats very well and took it to them. So that's a step in the right direction, certainly. And you know, we can't get there without beating good teams. So we're going to have to get better. But this is a good weekend for our program.
You've talked about renewing the program's rich past since taking the job really in 2021. Does this look like an Arizona State team as you define it?
We still got a ways to go. I think they're getting the character and the resiliency down, but again, there's a lot of things to clean up, and we're not going to be complacent with where we're at. We know we have to get better. And are we capable of it? Heck yeah, I think so. But you know, I'm not going to keep the foot off the gas with them, and you know, our expectations again are up here, so we have a lot of things to clean up in order for us to get to there. But again, great weekend for our guys. I'm super excited with how they continued to battle, and now we just clean a few things up and continue moving forward.